Okay, today I'm going to be fixing another radio I got in the mail. So here is the radio. It kind of reminds me of that radio they used in the movie Annie in the You're Never Fully Dressed Without a Smile scene. So it's from the 1930s. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is plug it in and turn it on. Okay, here we go. And I'll allow some time for the tubes to warm up. Okay, so it seems like we need to replace the electrolytic capacitors in the radio. Okay, I have taken the back cover off of the radio. Now I'm going to take the chassis out of the radio and replace the capacitors. Okay, if I had to guess, these 20 microfarad capacitors are both bad. Okay, here's the underside of the radio. Okay, there are the capacitor wires, so I will find a schematic for the radio and I will replace those capacitors. Okay, I found out some information on this radio and I also found a schematic for it. So it was made in 1936, it's an Emerson radio, and the case for the radio, or the cabinet for the radio, was made by the Ingram Clock Company, which, funny, I have an Ingram mantle clock from the 1800s. Now I will show the schematic. Okay, so I have found two 20 microfarad capacitors. Now I will replace those CAN capacitors. Here are the wires that come from those CAN capacitors. Okay, I have soldered in place the first 20 microfarad capacitor. Now I will solder in place the second 20 microfarad capacitor, which is going to go to there and this black wire. Okay, the capacitors are soldered in place. The soldering iron is still hot. Now I will tape the connections so they do not short to the chassis or anything else. Okay, now we will plug in the radio and test it. Okay, the radio is plugged in. Let's turn it on and see if it works. So the tubes are warming up.
Alzheimer's and untreated hearing loss. So come on, knock this out. Make your appointment today at the McLean Hearing Center.
Panic, but you definitely need to take some action. I would report this.
Okay, now we'll put the radio back together. And here's the finished radio.
From food to snacks to defensive stock, tailgating is a win with HEB.
Brought to you by the editors of Texas Monthly, the Big Texas Cookbook, the food that defines the Lone Star State is here.